circle of cursed stones with black rock with red runes surrounds the keep as you exit the blasted front doors of the keep. The once powerful knights of Tir Nanog lie in ruins behind you. You've picked up some of their gear with their blessing and have exited the keep at this point.
Does anyone else hear that, or is it just me?
What?
What?
Okay, be right back. My headset's glitching.
Okay.
Aw.
So, and I think right before we left, we had taken some damage and reduced our maximum hit points. And then Zumlar said when we came back, he was going to cast Aid on 3 of us to take HP up by 5.
Mic check?
Yes.
We hadn't actually
Hello.
done that yet. I heard mic check. Could you hear us?
Yeah, I could hear you. Lawrence was just, like, glitching out for me, so I don't know if it was everyone or... Alright, continue. Don't mind me.
Okay, great. So, when you exit to the outside, the dreary gray sky illuminates the standing stones, which seem to have taken on a menacing aura as you see them rip out of the ground one after the other and begin to glom together, forming this giant skull of obsidian and red runes. It lets loose a tremendous and deafening scream, and then I need everybody to make me wisdom saves.
We made wisdom saves last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
My HP is already reduced.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is where we start our combat. So, all right. So we will have you guys go next, starting with Dirk.
Okay. Dirk is going to use he's not entirely sure what's all the beams shooting around and what was the language that we didn't understand, but just because he's going to go ahead and use his performance of creation to make a large mirror that we can hide behind.
Okay.
It can be up at 6th level. It can be a large item, and it lasts for 3 hours and can be up to a value of 120 gold pieces. So however big a mirror that would be.
Okay.
And then for my I'm going to use my last bardic inspiration on I use that on Al.
All right. Mac.
Alright,
Actually,
Mac just sort of
the last one.
goes into a combat trance, rages, first of all, and just, like, rushes at this thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I assume, you said combat, so I assume it's hostile. Reckless attack.
Okay.
25, and I finally have 2 attacks, 25 and natural 20 to hit.
Okay, you hit twice.
10 slashing damage, and 7, so 27 slashing damage in 1 round.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, and also, Ancestral Protectors.
You rip out chunks of stone, and the pieces start flying everywhere. Wherever the cursed stone strikes the ground, essentially there's a poof of sort of foul greenish vapors. Okay, and then Zumlar. Oh, never mind. I should have this thing take its legendary action. Okay. Okay, well, that's ugly. All right, let's see here. Mack is blasted in the chest by red and white beams of energy coming out of the skull's eyes as it criticals for 53 points of damage.
Ouch.
Oh.
How much damage was it?
53.
So we got critical for double damage, so that's...
Yeah, you know, there's just no good way to do that, is there?
There is not. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. That was Mack. So
Yeah.
I'm not upset so much. Okay. All right, so Mack disappears back into the keep as if he were shot out of a cannon. It's like boom.
Oh no!
All right, Zumlar, it is now your turn.
I will say in vengeance of the Trinidad, and then I'll charge the thing.
All right. As you rush forward and say vengeance of Tirnanog, it's like, fool, we are the vengeance of Tirnanog. It's like...
and step aside so we can actually wreak vengeance on the human world.
None may leave these cursed grounds.
Even a paladin of the of Trinidad.
If you did not die fighting on these grounds, you do not belong here. You are no paladin of this place.
I left with the prince and the princess. I was tasked to protect them. I wanted to stay and protect my fallen brothers.
Then where are they now, knight? All right, so I need a wisdom save at this point.
Do I know where the prince and princess are?
You do know where they are at this point. They live an okay life, basically, in South Warwick at this point, as disguised as nobles, but away from the prying eyes of the British government.
So I tell him this. The stone creature.
You're guessing this thing is so full of hate and malice, it just doesn't care. But yes, you can make a persuasion check, so at disadvantage.
Persuasion. 16.
All right. It holds its advance for a moment as if it's considering your words. So it does not use the rest of its legendary actions. Al.
I think first I want to like Mack took a pretty big hit, so I kind of want to use some lay on hands. Well, am I near him, or did he get blasted too far away?
You have to rush back into the castle to help him out at this point. But the other thing that only you can do as the type of paladin you are is the basically retributive strike, essentially. So you can cause the same 53 damage that the creature caused to it, basically, by
Wait, how do I do that?
it's one of your divine powers as a what is it?
Oh, would that be in features and traits?
I thought she was redemption. Is that a redemption
that is a
feature?
redemption paladin power is retributive strike, essentially. So I don't think they call it retributive strike, and I'd have to look it up one here.
Would that have happened before Zumlar sort of talked him back from the ledge a little bit? Because they're not actively doing anything at the moment, right?
Technically, I think it happens I think you can do it on your round, essentially. Let's see here. Let me go look it up. Rebuke the violent. You can use your channel divinity to rebuke those who use violence. Immediately after an attacker within 30 feet of you deals damage with an attack against a creature other than you, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to make a wisdom saving throw on a failed save, and it takes radiant damage equal to the damage it just dealt.
Sure. Okay, I'd like to do that. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
I'll mark that.
I'm trying to get this thing not to fight us. Don't anger it.
Oh.
Well, but I
Well,
think
I'm saying it probably happened as soon as Mack took damage. So
Right.
all right, so Al pulls out our holy symbol and rebukes the curse stones, and a radiant white light basically causes several of the stones to fly apart from the mass and crash into the castle walls and disappear in vile green clouds of vapor. All right,
Good
so
one, Owl!
knocking it down. Owl at this point goes and rushes back into the castle to do some lay on hands on Mack at this point. So How much lay on hands do you
Yeah.
want to put on Mac?
I want to give him 20.
I'm just like
20.
embedded in the wall. That's
Yes.
like I'm not dead or anything.
Like a
yet.
cartoon, right?
Yeah.
In the
pretty
shape
much.
of you. Yeah.
There's a nice werewolf's shaped imprint in the basically stone stairs at the far end of the throne room. Okay, Al, you did some healing. Krishana, what are you doing?
Seeing the two people that I was going to cast a spell on disappear, I'm going to start singing at Zumlar and cast Enhance Ability, the Strength one,
Okay, great.
and then bonus action, give him a D6 Bardic Inspiration.
Okay,
And then try and seek cover behind Dirk.
all right. Well,
You know
rush
I'm a
back-
half-
you
oh,
rush
'cause
back
I've got
into
the-
the keep
yeah.
at this point, since the castle walls are the only thing that look like can offer cover around here. Otherwise, you're looking at probably like a 60 foot dash over to the outer walls, the ruins of the outer walls.
What about my big mirror? Can't she duck behind that with me?
You can, but essentially you don't know if glass
Oh.
is going to protect you from
Okay.
basically whatever this thing is going to deal, right?
Okay, true enough.
Alright,
Ooh.
I will go hide into the castle then.
You duck behind one of the walls in the throne room at this point and peek around the ruins of the door frame. Okay. All right. Back to so it's actual action at this point. I will let's see what.
Oh,
it's
Owl,
feeling
how many
about
hit points did you
Zumlar.
give me?
It's not feeling good about Zumlar.
I gave you 20. I gave you 20.
Thank you.
Of course.
Well, even though it knows the prince and princess are fine, and could one day return to Ternanog. Hello?
Give me a second. I'm just trying to read up on ancestral protectors.
Has disadvantage on anything that isn't me, and if it does hit with an attack that isn't against me, the creature has resistance.
Nice.
Okay, so this you have to hit it, and then basically until the
Hit it while I'm raging.
beginning of your next turn, so long as you are still raged, it ancestral guardian still applies. Okay, so
Which I got smacked, so I'm definitely still raging. I'm very angry, but I'm stuck in the wall.
Oh,
all right, everybody but Zumlar, give me dex saves at this point.
Even though me and Owl are way back in the fucking building.
It basically lets loose a blast of like cursed breath that ripples out green flames. Okay, Zumlar, you're at normal dex save. Everybody else is at advantage because
Oh,
you're
okay.
effectively undercover.
okay, cool. Advantage. So that means we roll twice, take the highest.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
21?
what is the DC?
DC is 15.
Or no, not 21.
Okay.
What is that?
18!
I got an 18 as well, yeah.
No, yeah, 21.
I'm gonna use my DM inspiration, and I got a 17. Thank God.
Oh.
Okay, vile green flames basically peel some of the flesh off your bones for 36 of damage, necrotic, full, or 18 half. If you make your save.
Right.
Whew.
If you make the save half.
Yeah.
If you make the save, you take 18.
Okay, sweet.
I don't know if let's see, are Celestials resistant to necrotic or no?
You should be,
Oh wait, yeah, I
depending on
think
your
they
type.
are. Features and traits.
Look up
Sorry.
in your top near your health point, or your hit points. Should have defenses, and if it's there,
Oh,
it
yeah.
should be there. Because I know
yeah,
Alan
necrotic.
was.
Okay, so you're resistant to radiant and necrotic as a celestial.
So you take a quarter of this, because it's half of half.
Oh,
you
okay,
take
so I'm gonna
9.
heal 8 then, because I took 16.
Yeah, okay, so you take 8.
Sweet.
Sorry.
Yay! Finally,
All right,
that
so
comes-
some of you are better off than others. All right, so everybody else, you have cover, and so you've got advantage on your saves, except for Zumlar, who's still out front. Okay, Zumlar is sort of standing out there, basically, it's like, what is your response to the critter at this point, now that it is blown fire all over your face?
Critter.
Now I'm going to attack.
Okay, great. Dirk, it is your turn at this point. Your mirror
Okay.
didn't seem to do a whole heck of a lot, but it seemed to stave off the brunt of the initial flames, but it is now disintegrated.
Oh, well, yeah.
So
That's par for the course. Okay, so I'm going to use my animating performance. As an action, I can animate one larger, smaller, non magical island within 30 feet of me that isn't being worn or carried. So I'm thinking some of the rubble, like a column or something. And it uses the dancing item stat block. And my
Oh.
bonus action, I can slam it. It's like old slam dancing, right? So it's like maybe it's got like a punk hairdo, and it's gonna slam into it. It gets +6 to hit,
Well, the hit it
and
has AC 18.
okay, so I'm gonna roll that with a 20, and that's a 14 and 6. Oh yeah, so I got a 20, a dirty 20, and
Okay.
then let me check. Oh, there it is. Okay, where is? Oh, hit points. It's not telling me what to roll. Hang on a second, let me look that up. I guess that would be okay. 1d10 plus my charisma. Okay, so that's a 10. So that's an 8 plus 3. So that's 12 hit point damage. And then, that's my action to create it, my bonus action to slam it. So,
Okay.
It's basically a really big fuck off spiritual weapon.
yeah, pretty much.
Behaves just like one.
Yeah, I can move
Alright.
it. And then if I don't tell it what to do, it just dodges. It lasts for an hour.
So
Right, your animated column goes and bops the thing on the head. More bits of cursed stone fly everywhere. Mack.
I have 40 feet of movement. I don't have the rage bonus yet, or do I? But regardless, 40 feet of movement. Does that get me back out to the face,
Sure,
or
you
is
can
that
get
still
all
too
the way
far?
back out there.
All right, now I'm fucking angry. So hang on. So reckless attack again. What's this thing's AC?
AC is 18.
So that's a 19. A 19. As my bonus action, I'm gonna expend my last Unleash Incarnation for a third attack.
Okay.
So that's 3 hits.
Okay.
Sorry, hang on. 3 hits. For 32 points of slashing damage.
so I didn't actually go.
I'm saying your action would have had to been to convince it. Essentially, that was your.
Is
full
it dead
action.
yet?
Well,
So how
my
much damage did you do?
32?
It is not dead. There are still. It's like it's roughly the size of a very large boulder, and you're taking like
Action
chips and
surge!
chunks from it.
Natural 20. And a 23.
Okay.
For 8. And so another 32 and 23 slashing damage.
All right. The ground begins to
And I just fucking, like,
seethe
roar
with all
in its
this sort of
face.
greenish vapor that is pouring out of it. Okay, so the cursed skull goes, "Wither in despair, mortal." I need a Constitution save for Mac.
You even gotta ask. 18.
18. All right. You feel a lot of life force get sucked out of you as like green vapors begin to like dissolve the very flesh of off your bones as they sort of coalesce around you. Green tendrils of vapor rip large chunks of flesh off of you like acid, and you take what is it? This is already halved, by the way. You take 20 points of necrotic damage.
All right.
Oh, shit.
I just howl in defiance in its face. Mack is not looking very good, by the way. He doesn't want to show weakness, but he's not looking good.
Okay, Zumlar, you're up.
Alright, so yeah, I'm going to attack now.
Okay.
Because this thing pissed me off. I get 2 attacks. So, first one is 21.
I gave you quarter curse. It's just like you spit on it. So no quarter then shall be given. It's like it's run for it and trying to crush it out of existence.
I will say, as he says that I'll be. Well, I tried reasoning with you, and you still didn't give a safe passage. So now you must perish.
How do you kill something that's already dead?
You give it an undeath.
Okay, well it still has 18 AC, so give me a. Let me know if you hit.
25. And that's a crit, so 30.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
Okay, you definitely hit twice. So give me your damage.
So 3d8. Uh, 32.
Nice.
Yay.
All right. The cursed stones seem to be more like tendrils of black and white magical energy holding together the stones than stone at this point, as there's sort of like this flare of magical energy that had been barely contained before now flashes across the field. Everybody that is actually out in front, essentially, dex save at normal. Everybody else, dex save at advantage. DC 15.
Can I see this?
Yes, so you can
Okay.
roll with advantage, yeah.
Okay. I got a
Ooh,
25.
17.
All right, so full
Wait,
damage. is
also, if I'm right next
Oh,
to
wait.
Zumlar, do I get his bonus?
yes, certainly.
Zumlar, what is your
Everyone
bonus?
gets like +5, I think. Or +2 for saving.
+2. It's like,
Oh, we're doing deck
Okay.
save? Sorry.
You're doing dex
16
save.
total for me, Lawrence. I don't know what the save of this thing is.
And
It's DC
Al,
15.
if you're still inside, you do it at advantage.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Yes.
I just saved, but I
Do it again,
don't
because that
know
was-
if that's gonna matter.
Okay, half damage is 15, full damage is 30.
Yeah, I'm max unconscious.
So's Dirk.
I got a 14.
Okay, so that's a
So
that's a
3
failure,
people
but
just
it
went
is,
down
again,
with that
it's necrotic
attack.
damage, so you take half anyway. So you still take the 15.
Okay, 15. Sweet.
Okay.
So
15
me,
damage.
Dirk, and Krishana all just went down.
Oh,
This
Oh
Krishana
my
is
went
God.
down
not
too.
good.
Shit.
So it just leaves us paladins left.
Fuck.
Well, your opponent doesn't look all that hot either, so it's just like this is one of those do or die moments. Essentially, can we basically take this down quick enough, or alternately, can we stand people up quick enough, basically, to make the difference? So
So I'll
you
yell
got
to
a
Al.
death ward, Krishana. You have 1 hit point at this point, and you are conscious.
And
I'll yell at Owl to resurrect everyone else. I'll concentrate and distract the beast.
Sounds like a plan.
And
do
I
have
would
some-
concentrate on Mack because he can do more damage once you get him up.
Yeah, okay, so, but right now it's Dirk and Mack are down, and then Krishana's about to go down.
Hanging on for dear life, as it were.
Yeah, she may or may
Shit.
not get hit. So
Okay. And then Dirk, what was your points again? I'm sorry.
oh, I'm down.
Oh, you're down.
I'm down, but
Yeah.
I don't do so much damage. So I would try and bring Mack up so he can hit that beast, and you guys can bring me
Yeah.
up once you knock it down.
Yeah. Okay. So whose turn is it?
It is your turn now.
Okay. I'm gonna do Cure Wounds on Mac, and the rest of my lay on hands, which is only 8, but you know, 8 is still something.
I have a question, DM. Since I went down, and now owls bring me back up, is my max HP back to normal? How does that work?
I'm saying your max HP is reduced until you either get a greater restoration or time passes.
Okay.
All right. So my first action, I guess, was I don't know if it was either cast or it was lay on hands, but I want to do both of those if I can.
As much as I hate to be
You can
the
do them
bear...
in the same round as a paladin, since lay on hands requires your action. So,
Yeah, I was about to say, as much as I want all of that healing, I don't think you can.
so I would just cast a second or third level cure wounds and just pump that into Mack instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so second level. I'm gonna do a second level cure wounds.
Okay, so
And I'm gonna roll
2d8
that.
plus your wisdom bonus.
All right. All right. So it gives 13 points back.
Yay.
All right.
So
He's up.
Mack, sort of like in a daze, sort of like, what happened? Because I am out of rages and I cannot rage again, unfortunately.
All right. Well, that's okay. Look, just stay safe. I only have so many spells, man. All right. So I guess that was my turn.
Did you have a bonus action you wanted to do?
Oh, what can I do as a bonus action?
Grab, what is it? Mack, and move you and him basically back behind cover if you want to at this point. So,
Yes.
at the end of your turn, both you will be behind cover.
Yes, please.
All right.
Just trying to drag everyone out or behind there.
Nice.
Okay.
And then I'll get Dirk next.
It will use this last legendary action for the round. Right. Red and white beams of energy stream out of the skull's eyes and barely miss Zumlar. And then Krishana.
So I am gonna pop up, and that death ward was corrupted. So whatever that means.
Okay.
And she's gonna start crying and cast Cure Wound second level on herself and stay hidden.
Okay. All right. So heal. What is it? Probably around 12 to 14 hit points. Okay. And all right. You duck yourself fully behind a wall or something so you can't be shot at all. Let's see here. And then, all right, it's action at the beginning of the round. Let's see. All right, Zumlar continues to lead a charmed life as the cursed skull basically looks at Zumlar and says, "Wither and die," and basically causes a shadowy substance, basically shadowy aura to try to establish itself around Zumlar, and Zumlar resists it with this holy aura. Okay, and then we got Dirk.
Okay, and Dirk is going to roll a death save, which I don't know how to do in D&D 20, so I'm just going to roll a D20. And that's 14, so that's a success. Yay.
Yes, all right, great. Mack. You are up with about 12 to 14 hit points or something.
Mack?
Mack.
Oh.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. My mom's yelling at me. Come again?
It's your
What?
turn.
You're back up with, let's say, 12 hit points at the moment. So what are you doing?
13, please. Owl's more competent than that. I'm gonna rush at this thing and do what I do best. 2 more reckless attacks.
Okay.
That's 2 hits
Nice.
for 18 slashing damage.
All right. The thing begins to rumble and crumble into bits as there's just all that's left is basically this glowing web of like black and white streamers of magic. All the stone is gone, all the runes are gone, and even that seems to be like discorporating and becoming unstable at this point. As Mack is going, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be standing right in this exact
I can.
spot, in the next couple seconds.
Actually, I can do something with this if I have one more turn.
Well, you
Can
still have
I
your move in your bonus action, right? So what do you want to do with that?
Yeah. Okay, this won't work because I need 2 bonus actions for this to fully. Okay. If I have 40 feet of movement, I will just run behind cover.
Okay, you run back into the keep, or you run to the edge of the keep. So what do you want to do?
I will run to Owl.
Okay,
Assuming
run to
Owl is still
who's
behind
inside
cover.
the keep.
Yes.
Krishana and Owl are basically hiding out behind the wall.
Oh wait, where's
the
Dirk?
wall
Is
at
Dirk
this
safe?
point in the keep.
No, he's not. I was about to say, please help.
Yeah,
grab
I was
Dirk
gonna
on-
say you could
Never mind.
drag me.
Yeah, I will grab Dirk.
And bring him back under cover. So that might.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I will grab Dirk's tiny body. Hopefully this isn't like I am a hulking wolfman with 16 strength. Do I need to do any sort of check to pick Dirk up?
No.
Or
you
just
do not.
drag me by my clothing or something. It's all
Okay,
good.
you
Yeah,
just
I will pick Dirk up and run back into the keep.
Dirk like
My
a step,
Dirk toes.
dive behind the corner. Zumlar. This
I
thing's
want
looking
to-
like in imminent danger of exploding at this point, just like it did before.
So I'm going to retreat to a safe distance and then throw my javelin.
Okay. You retreat back about 30 feet and toss your javelin. Go ahead and roll to hit.
That is a miss.
Okay, it zips through the gaps in the red and the black and white streamers of energy, and see, ow.
I'm going to cast another 2nd level Cure Wounds
Okay.
in order to heal Dirk now.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
And so now I'm gonna roll. So like I run over there, and Dirk now has 12 extra points.
Yay, thank you.
Very good.
Of course, I want all my friends to be alive. Damn it!
Okay.
Well, I wasn't dead. I mean, I still had 2 more deaths, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk
Knowing
it.
how you roll, Tree. Knowing how
Yeah,
you roll.
let's not test.
Okay,
let's not
I
test.
still have 1 lucky, and I still... Yeah, we were okay. We were okay, but thank you. That's awesome.
Of course.
Nice to be back up.
All right, Krishana.
Yeah.
I am going to summon out my raven and close my eyes and use my movement to fly through my raven. And on my next turn, if anybody goes down, I'm going to touch them with my raven and cast Spare the Dying or Healing.
Okay, got it. All right, so have the Raven out just in case you basically need to touch up anybody after this thing explodes. All right, so all of you have retreated back into the keep at this point, are hiding behind the castle walls. There's a pregnant moment as you basically there's crackling and zapping and the smell of ozone. And the smell of whatever this green mist is that's basically flowing all over the ground. It's a spell you don't recognize and is completely foreign to your experience. And then there's a tremendous explosion as the whole keep rocks. You can see sharp shards of black stone and the ground basically come blasting inwards into the keep, tearing up anything that basically was even remotely basically in its path, all the way up to the throne. And then as if there's some sort of magical barrier over the throne, you can see this sort of tessellated pattern of like glowing blue and white magic protecting the throne.
Holy crap!
And then once that settles down, basically the shaking stops like maybe about 10 seconds later. Everybody's covered over in dust at this point. The green mist is gone. You're looking outside, there is a tremendously huge crater, something like almost 20 feet deep, essentially, and 40 feet across. Like blasted into the ground as you're looking at some of the people that basically got KO'd earlier, and it's like as they don't seem right as you're looking over Mack at this point. His fur, some of his fur was jet black before, but now like a huge patch of it is jet black, and you can see bits of like stone and runes having been woven into his hide.
Ooh.
One of Dirk's eyes basically and like whole eye socket seems to have turned into obsidian stone, and and his eye on the left hand side of his head seems to have a giant red rune in it.
Yeesh.
That's not
Always
good.
wanted to look cool.
Hey, you guys are turning into Rilo.
So one eye socket looks obsidian, and the other eye has a red rune in it. It's two
I'm
different.
saying the obsidian side is
Oh, okay.
Stace seems to have been converted
Okay.
into this black glassy substance, and the eye socket in that side has a big, where your iris should be is a big red rune.
Can Dirk see out of that eye now?
You can see perfectly fine.
Oh, okay, because I'm thinking about wearing a patch on it, and then I can lift it up and eyeball people. But
Okay.
that's for later.
Al just looks at it. It's like, I kind of want to touch it, but I know that'd be weird.
Not yet. You can touch it later. That's fine.
Thank you.
Poke. Is that hurt?
Exactly. I'll quit it. I'll quit it. I'll quit it. I'll quit it.
It's just shiny. Her brain goes stupid when it's shiny.
Oh my god.
As well from Whisper, who's happens to be hanging. You can
Wait,
hear
no,
this.
They're poking too.
Dirk here doesn't feel it, but he feels this like tinking noise essentially from Whisper trying to peck at her head.
Why do I feel Owl wouldn't stop it? She'd just be joining in. It's just a tag team against Dirk. I'm so sorry.
Dirk is grabbing Whisper at this point and trying to keep it at arm's length from trying to peck at his head at the moment. Okay, so both of you, both Mack and Dirk both look like they have bits of cursed stone embedded in them at this point.
Do I feel anything?
You feel normal. It's like you look weird as someone shows you. You take a look at yourself in the mirror. You're going, okay.
The giant melted mirror
I
on
left
the
a
ground.
mark. I left a mark.
But like, does this make you one with like this area now?
I don't know.
Does
I don't feel much different.
I feel like can you? I don't know. Can you like talk to the spirits of this world or something? Like, are you interconnected? Are you sucked into it all? Just like, just going off on like, holy fuck, what does this mean? And looks a little too stoked about it because it seems like a really interesting concept.
I wonder
What does
if
that mean? What is our place in the universe? Okay.
I wonder if he can curse now with his curse stones.
Don't already fucking do that.
Ooh.
Like Dirk's gonna like try and practice with the evil eye.
Can't
Well, there isn't anybody living to curse around here. Everybody's like way dead. So
Okay.
maybe it'll work on the living.
So guys, we determined that we didn't want to stay in here because things were getting kind of creepy inside. And I don't know how long it might be before some of these other stones do something out here. I'm thinking it's a good time to leave the vicinity. And
Yeah, well, now I'm stuck being creepy.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
And we can go back and try and teleport back to our plane, or we can do some exploration around here, but I think we need a short rest at least.
I second that.
Agreed.
The long and the short of it is like this does not look like anywhere within Tirdanog does not look like a good place to short rest. It's like the Bargus predictably, now that there's death in the air, have returned because you can see them like prowling around the edge of the keep at this point. So, and the cursed stones not being there anymore pretty much basically means they probably have free access directly to the keep now as like spectral beasts. So,
Yeah, we gotta go.
the only
I
thing
believe
that looks
told
like
us to go.
marginally safe is the dais around the throne, because there's now this sort of like blue bubble shield has sort of like established its blue shield of Magus has established itself around the throne. But then again, essentially, the Yellow King's avatar, basically, you keep on seeing it there, so that does not like feel super safe to basically go take a siesta in.
Yeah, that would seem like the very worst thing to have in your dreams.
I was about to ask if we could hamster ball.
Yeah, even
Probably
as a
not.
melee fighter, I am completely tapped.
Yeah,
Okay.
I only have so many.
So we know where we came in. We marked it, and we have those candles that we can set up to try and teleport. And failing that, I looked through our inventory, and we do indeed have a scroll of teleportation circle.
Yes.
But I think that Mac had some things he wanted to look for here, right?
I do, but I don't want to drag all into it, especially not looking like this.
Krishana, do you have a tiny hut?
I do not have access to 3rd level spells yet, sweetie.
Okay.
That'll be next level. Or
Okay.
when I feel better.
I was just checking because I know
We're
none of
8th
us
level
do.
now. Everyone make sure we're 8th level now, because Lawrence said level up at the end of last session.
Krishana's doing some multi-classing, so
Oh, I know. Yeah, me too.
All right. You are all beat to shit, so it does not seem extremely wise to continue exploring the possibly dangerous keep, because you've just wandering the rooms, you've already found quite dangerous stuff in here.
yeah, maybe it's time to go back and regroup a little bit, and then maybe we can come back. So,
One of those, you always know the way here. There's the portal directly in the Davenport mansion. So,
Yeah, we have the books though, don't we?
we should.
Let's use that as the second option, and Krishana's going to start walking towards the room.
Yeah, let's all go together, guys.
Yep.
Hopefully the is it Bargus? Hopefully the Bargus will give us some berth while they come and investigate this.
okay, so the Bargus, as soon as you guys leave, sweep into the castle and basically begin to feast on the remains of the dead.
Ooh. Vultures. Whisper would never.
Right, so you head off to the you head out back the hour or so march back out to where you marked on the map where you teleported in. There's the plinth that you kick away all the dust, essentially revealing the permanent teleportation circle that has been permanent magic circle that has been embedded into a large stone platform here. Dusting it off a bit. You place your candles on it. You light the candles. Okay, cross off the candles because they're used up at this point, effectively.
Okay. But we can get more from that candle guy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good question whether or not he has more, because he was supplied to supplies by the Davenports. So,
Okay.
Well,
yeah, you know.
maybe we can say
so
something.
the blue mystic sparkles spray out of the candles like sparklers during 4th of July. A eerie blue glow suffuses the whole magic circle as you look at each other, look at the horizon, then look at each other again, and then you are standing in the Mystic Library again. A book with the sigils, basically sigils of Tir Nanog, the 7 sigils of Tir Nanog in the Golden Keep lies open, and as you look at the book, it suddenly snaps shut with a loud bang.
That was not my fault this time. Everyone saw that.
Can I see why it did that?
It seems to have locked and sealed itself again, as you see a clasp having been applied. There's some of the runes glow with a dull mystic glow. It had been unlocked at some point, and on the spine it reads basically the legend of Tir Nanog.
I think we should take this one with us.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I was thinking
wasn't
about
there a key that fell out of it initially? And that's when
That's correct.
that's when she
Owl.
said, do we look around? Do we see that?
Like Al basically still has it in her hand at this point. She
Okay.
doesn't remember how it got into her hand, but it is still there. So there's this interesting like 7-flanged key essentially that looks quite unique.
Owl just keeps like running, like trying to put her finger in each divot. It doesn't fully fit, but she's doing it anyway.
Al, would you like to hang on to the key, and maybe Dirk will hang on to the book in his bag of holding, right?
Sure. Can I
that
turn
okay?
it into a necklace?
Can you turn into what?
Turn it into a necklace.
Sure. That seems like a latchkey kid. Sounds like a perfect idea on a way not to lose it.
Yeah, and to like tuck it in my armor so it's harder to fall out.
Yeah, and then that way nobody sees it too. I like it.
Yeah. We don't need any temptations.
We
Well,
don't.
I think we should get out of here. I don't think we're in the condition to hunt the Davenports again.
And I don't know that we're in the condition to deal with any of the other magical objects that we find in here right now.
Out! Everybody out! What we waiting for?
All right.
Just like shooing them away.
You head back out to the encampment of paladins outside. It's like, well, looky here. It's like looks like the conquering heroes have returned. What did you find in the underground?
What time is it? What day is it? How long have we been gone?
Not too long, maybe about 8 hours.
That's
we
it.
went down and found some extremely strange magical things in the library. There was a vault that had like a pathway out into the universe. That was
Before we continue, do the paladins notice that Zumlar looks different?
The paladins. Are you actually wearing the armor of Tir Nanog at this point, or no?
Yes.
It's like there's quite a bit of consternation as you see a whole bunch of paladins like draw steel on you at this point, just like as eventually you
Wait, Dick?
you lift up your helm and pull off your helmet. And it's like, oh, I'm your ally.
But Dirk said that he was going to put disguise self on him, right? We said that at the time that we were going to cast disguise self on him when he went back until he had a chance to modify it.
All right, fair
Can we
enough.
do
So
that?
you have disguise self on at the moment.
Okay, that's an hour.
But
So unless
Zumlar
you
is going
pointed
to.
out Zumlar, no one's noticing anything at the moment.
But Zumlar is going to be way too proud to modify the armor.
Well, Zumlar, then we're not going to be able to go back to London or to see any of the people that we've been working with. But why don't we try and get some sleep and then we'll discuss the best action? How about that?
Okay.
All right, you get a long rest in at this point. Everybody's back up to full spells and hit points. The clerics try their best to decurse Mack and Dirk. It does not seem to be taking as they're going. I'm sorry, the two of you. The whatever this curse is far beyond our magics. You're gonna have to basically head to the main church, St. Mary's, at the Basilica.
Did Mack have any like strange dreams or anything over the 8 hours rest of what this might be? Since it's
You
stuck
have
with him for
no idea, really. Essentially, like many fake curses, it'll probably just affect you just at the worst possible freaking time when you really need something crucial to go your way. Fake curses have a tendency to basically do bad stuff to you right then and there. Like, when you turned into a werewolf was when you returned home, essentially, and were about to be greeted by your family, for instance. That's when you first turned into a werewolf.
I was like, I walked in the door, I basically, and like later that night, it just like, it
wasn't even later that night. It was just like, as you walked up to the threshold of your family home, essentially, you turned into a werewolf and almost got killed by your own family.
Yeah,
Arms open for a hug.
The Fae have a very cruel sense of irony.
Krishana is going to wander off in the middle of the night and, do her ritual prayer, talk to her patron, try and tell him about the meeting with the Yellow King.
The Dawn Lady goes, who is your patron, it's like, the Mistress of Dawn, is like, you walk a very interesting path. You walk into a very interesting path, Foundling. Why? I would ask, do you find it worth it?
I'm here to help people. That's all I've seen to do. And granted, I stumble and I
You walk
look
the
at
path
all.
of Dawn. You are a child of Tir Nanog, then. Continue to choose this path, and I will reward you handsomely.
Thank you, my lady. And she'll skip around happy.
Like may dreams of dawn never be far from you. And as you have taken the time to essentially reach out to your patron and ask her blessing, when you wake up in the morning, essentially there's a glowing white rune sort of blazoned into basically your left palm. That is essentially the what is it? The opening eye of dawn, your mistress's sigil. You've achieved another death ward at this point. So
Yay!
Always a good thing with this crowd.
Yeah, really?
So we're still reduced by 15 hit points, unless.
all right.
Can we get some greater restorations from these?
You gain 5 of it back essentially.
Okay, so we were able to get 5 back from these paladins, and maybe we can work on some more when we head back to.
That's just through time. Every long rest, you will get 5 of your
okay.
max hit points back.
Okay.
All right. You wake up. You get ready and wake up start getting ready in about 8 hours. The priests worry over like all of your team. All of you look like bad. Let's put it that way. They're going. You've had the very soul like burned from you by some like wicked force. This is not something we can fix out here in the field, but looks like time will restore you to full health eventually. As they're mentioning essentially the fact that they're noticing all of you have like missing bits of life force at this point. And it sort of shows in the form that there is just like you have these permanently open wounds or gashes that just never heal. Regardless of what magics get applied to them.
It was an interesting time.
There's some amount of consternation when people wake up when you wake up the next morning and Zumlar wanders out of one of the tents, like wearing the full regalia of a Tir Nanog knight. Lots of paladins draw steel on him, and there's lots of the rest of your team basically getting in the way. It's like, ho ho ho, he's one of us. So
Zumlar is friend, not food.
Yes.
As you hear grumbling from a lot of the paladins at this point. It's like,
should we tell them about our adventures in Tir
I
Nanog?
wouldn't wear those colors anywhere near London, unless you wish to be basically thrown into the tower for treason.
Seems kind of harsh.
So Dirk is gonna use telepathy to say, Zumlar, remember you're supposed to try and wreak vengeance on that night. You're not going to be able to get anywhere near him unless you cover this up for now.
That's true.
There's it's like, yeah, you've got to remember, like, some of these paladins probably fought in the campaign, so they have clear and active memories of basically losing people to the Knights of Tir Nanog. because horrible sort of like stuff was done by both sides, because this was not some sort of war of conquest. It was basically like fairy genocide, basically, is what happened in Tier 9.
Ah.
So Zumlar will cover up the armor.
Yeah.
Reluctantly cover it up.
Why do I just imagine like putting a potato sack on it?
He just keeps it covered with his cloak for the most part, but it's like the one of the chaplains who seems to be a little bit more understanding of the issues, like, son, I would stow that armor away if I were you. It's like even basically flashing those colors among some military men would instigate basically a violent outburst, just upon seeing them.
Altercation.
And
Like-
we're all on the same side against the Davenports, so these are our allies.
That's true, but it's like, keep in mind, as I said, as the sergeant told you, most of these men have living memory, essentially, of being on the campaign. So,
No, I'm saying to Zumlar, these are our allies. We don't need to be fighting them. We need to be fighting Davenports. And
So-
it's
so
clear
he'll-
that the Davenports may have had something to do with this. They've got that connection from their house all the way over there. So they may have had some, we're still figuring this out, but I think we need to run them down. Let's not fight with their allies.
So Zumlar will make the armor like it's a plain chest piece.
well, I'm saying it's like, it's a beautiful piece of art, essentially, that you're pretty much going to have to deface to make it look more plain. So, and this is not something you're going to be able to do out in the field, unfortunately, because it's like, it's not just like pull off a couple pieces of decoration here and there. It's just like, the armor itself basically is super distinctive.
So yeah, so Zumlar will stow it.
Maybe
Stow
we
it
can.
away basically in the bag of holding for now, and pull out your regular armor for. You'll have to basically take it to probably an enchanter and an expert blacksmith, essentially, to get it converted into something that's less conspicuous.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could get some sort of a glamour put on it so that it would
Well, that's a
appear.
possibility as well. Essentially, you could just go buy like a hat of disguise, so you could just permanently keep it under wraps. There's also a sort of famous item, essentially, that was used by some of the lieutenants of the British Empire, which is a ring of armament, which allows you to stow your armor and weapons in it, and instantly basically take it on and off. So, like, Zumlar has seen officers have this item, essentially, but just like, he doesn't know if you can get one as a civilian or not.
Right.
Hmm.
A hat of disguise might be good because that way you wouldn't have to deface your armor, but it wouldn't be apparent to most people. That might be a good thing, but let's review options when we get back to St. Mary's.
Okay, so you're back up to full hit points. The Mistress of Battle returns, like, after her stint in the upper area. There are numerous like spirits, ghosts, animated armors all throughout this mansion. We've done what we can to clear the upper floors, and we've unfortunately suffered heavy losses while doing so at this point. So you notice that the force they brought, there's literally half of them now that there were before, and there's lots of people under sheets.
Holy shit.
It's like some of these traps essentially slay you immediately, so there's no bringing back the souls that have been destroyed.
Ah.
I'm so sorry for your losses. They died honorably.
So, shall we take our second round and proceed back into the underground and see if we can't find the Davenport's lair at this point?
Have the children been escorted properly?
Children haven't been taken back to London at this point, so
She will start just dancing and giggling, and she's ecstatic now.
well, I'm glad you're happy. Miss Krishana. So the two boys basically have been sent back to London. I'm sure their
feel
mother
good
will be
about
ecstatic when they got their return to their home.
Mack is, even though he just went through, traumatic experience of facing down death twice in Tiranog, this gives him some amount of solace. Maybe it's a step forward.
Owl does a little tippy tappy dance, but very like small.
So we've cleared a lot of stuff out of here at a huge cost, but if we don't find the Davenports and take care of them, they're just going to build it back up again here or somewhere else. So
That is true.
Dirk feels like we really need to get down there and get Edward. So at this point, we killed. Was it Kevin that was the younger son? And we
So here
killed
are all
Samantha.
the Davenports you have
Yeah.
slain, basically. The
Samantha, I think.
It got taken out, right?
Samantha Davenport you encountered on the third floor. They're dead. Kevin you had encountered basically in the original summoning lair. He's
Right.
dead.
That bitch hurt.
You've met Edward Davenport. Well, never mind. You've met Benedict, the elder Davenport, and his cat. Strangely enough, you basically have not actually laid, actually seen Edward Davenport, but you accept basically as a shadowy figure in an alleyway. So.
Hey, the runes. Would Krishana be able to read any of the runes that have appeared on her teammates?
Since you have the ability to understand all languages,
I can richly cast comprehend
so
language.
reading across the runes across Mack, they sort of like spell out basically death to the enemies of Tirnanog. May their souls basically forever be bound in darkness. And then the one rune over Dirk's left eyeball simply reads hate, basically.
Oh dang!
How edgy.
Turns out these like.
And the other eyeball reads love. That's how
It's like that one scene from Indiana Jones where the girl like wrote stuff on her eyelids.
Yeah, and but I was thinking more like love and hate from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm.
Should we try the other door now?
Okay, so you head back down into the underground at this point. The library, everybody's like, you tell everybody to steer a wide path away from the stacks. Do not touch anything in there.
Books.
Do not open
bad.
up the vault door. That does not lead to anywhere good.
Yep.
Just like the big guys, just don't.
Just don't.
Won't.
You go and check the doors at the sort of like second balcony level. They lead it. One of them leads a detachment of paladins. Go down one, you go down the other. One of them reads, the Arboretum, and the other reads Rectory as a sign over the door. Which one do you want to take?
Rectory? I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought of that.
It's where the priest is. The rectory is where the priest is.
It feels
Are
like
you sure
there's a
about that?
bad joke there, and I'm not.
No, I'm ignoring the bad joke. I'm going to refuse to comprehend it. You can't make me. But I think that's where you need to go. So, you could lead the way to the rectory.
Rectory damn near killed him. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so tired.
I don't understand any of this.
I'm just dumb. Okay, it's been a long day.
I just refuse.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
You sure you're okay?
no, I'm not.
She had like a 14-hour day before we sat down for this. because we're on East Coast time, so she'll be all right.
Yeah. Sorry. I dumb. It's
And
okay.
I'm going to be back in just a minute.
Okay. Let's see here. Where were we? Okay. So I need to. Okay. Davenport Mansion. Right. Okay, so you're heading down. They were opening the door to the rectory, heading down that way. There's a small shrine here to a god none of you recognize. It's the idol basically that sits upon this basically 3 or 4 foot tall plinth is blackened and charred, and its face has been removed. The idol has been removed. There's you notice is it sprigs of mistletoe that are like long since shriveled and dried up into almost nothingness at this point, to the point where they sort of crumble to the touch. And a bloodied sickle sit next to the altar. And there's just sort of like a little bit of dust over everything, which is something you haven't found in the rest of the mansion at all, essentially, as if this room has not been used in a long time.
And
There's
the
a
maids
single
don't keep
exit
it
out
up.
of this small altar room, and the altar itself looks like it has a small compartment in it with a sort of like sliding doors that you could open to, as if it were a I can't remember can't remember what the box is you hold your service items in, but effectively it's basically one of those
What?
spots where you store the incense and the communion wafers and the holy wine, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a single exit out of this room, a simple wooden door that sort of heads off to your left. The pew likewise has some relatively thick dust on it, as if no one has actually knelt on the thing for a long time to pray.
It does. So it just smells like dust and old in here. Nothing.
It's just kind of just an unused room, so it's like not years old, but maybe just like as if it hasn't been used in months.
Mm-hmm.
That
Or
must
cleaned in months.
dusty, musty, and crusty.
Yes.
Crusty?
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much, basically, for those of you who are religious types like Zumlar or Owl to realize this is a shrine to one of the old gods of Tir Nanog, but the actual identity of the god, basically, the icon has been defaced, but the implements of worship you easily recognize, the sickle and mistletoe, are part of the Tir Nanog tradition.
Kind of rude to have that defaced. I mean,
Okay.
maybe
Anybody poke around inside the altar itself to go look at what's in there?
As per usual,
Oh.
Mack will always sniff it before he like gets close to it or analyzes it in any way.
Yeah,
Can Owl knock on the box? Knock, knock, knock.
Oh, what's in the box?
Is it a
What's in the
shave
box?
and a haircut, right?
Yeah, you knock on the box. You're surprised when something knocks back. You go, and then it
Is
knocks
that a
back.
friend or a foe?
What does it smell like?
You've smelled like fairy dust before. Essentially, it smells like sunshine and rainbows and like cinnamon rolls in the morning. That's what it is. Just like it smells.
Smells
kind
like
of
good.
and sweet and kind of to the point of being off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
Dirk,
Sunshine, rainbows, flowers, all that basically sort of naturey stuff. It makes you sneeze. It's like,
I think Dirk probably put detect magic up when we came in here because it's the sort of thing you do when you're poking around. Do we get anything off of the box in the altar?
there is divine magic of from the Tirnanog religion. So it's like it's obviously religious related items or paraphernalia in there.
Okay. Well, I think Dirk would like to get his mage hand out and see if he can open up the door and take a peek in there.
You
Would
peek in there. There's a
someone know
jar
what
with a
it is
fairy in
when we
it.
open it?
This sort of this bright blue skinned fairy with what appears to be snowflakes for wings and icicles for eyebrows, like frost for eyebrows and hair that sort of looks like ice crystals that sort of matted bed of grass like rimed in ice crystals looks back at you. They blink their sort of like sapphire blue eyes at you as they flutter their wings. Like I was
Hello
all
there, little
excited.
one.
Essentially, I thought you are you here to free me?
It
Yes.
depends. You here to kill us?
No,
will
not at all.
whisper, so he can't eat her.
The rector has long since left left his flock, as it were. I don't know when the last time, essentially, the Davenports basically came in for a communion.
Oh,
So I've been sitting in this jar for the past couple months.
What's the last thing you remember about the Davenports?
Well, Kevin used to be a devout worshiper of the Silver Hand, but I haven't seen him around for a while.
Is there any chance you could put a while to a time frame?
It pretty much matches about with the time you killed Kevin, so it's just like, oh, I know why. He's dead.
oh.
oh, Kevin.
Or Shovel Chin.
Dirk is going to use telepathy to say, Mac, don't talk about Kevin.
Does the fairy recognize me as like an elf of Tirnog?
It's like she the fairy looks impressed. It's like, well, you certainly are dressed as the one of the legendary knights of Tirnog, but I doubt you are they. All the knights died basically in the castle.
I think he's pretty great.
Should I tell her that I helped protect the prince and princess? Trying to think of it as wise.
Well, as far as I know, and Master Kevin had told me, the prince and princess have live a relatively good life in Southward. Nowhere near as grand as the Golden Keep, but they're alive, and that's far more than could be said of most of the most of the people in the Golden Keep. So if you were part of the group that ferried them away from the castle and the golden and the Dreaming Lands, then good on you. I'm sure Master Kevin would have been pleased.
Oh, now I feel bad for coming to Davenport's.
Mm.
Can I roll insight on this, Barry?
Insight, no insight necessary. You're pretty much of the opinion that this is a fae directly from Tir Nanog, probably one of the few fae you've seen in a really, really long time. And this might be Kevin's familiar or pet or buddy.
Do you know, or do we know if fae can be brainwashed like this as vampires are one to do? Is that possible?
It's your detect magic doesn't indicate basically any sort of enchantment, charm magic, but it's incredibly hard to basically dominate a fae to begin with. But
yeah, that's
fully
my thought
resistant to
process.
that sort of magic. So it's like this fairy probably genuinely had some sort of like friendly relationship with Kevin Davenport.
So, well, maybe we need to, and so I'm going to confer via telephone. Maybe we need to tell her that we think Kevin has had to go away. We haven't seen him in a while. She asked if we were going to rescue her. Do we want to rescue her?
He went to a farm state.
I would like to. She seems nice.
Well, just uncork the jar, and I'll be on my way out of here. It's like I'm sure there's plenty of nice Sylvan Woods here in London somewhere.
We're not in London anymore, sweetheart.
Well, never mind. Keep on forgetting. We're in the countryside, so I'm sure there's plenty of virgin woods here out and about. And if not, essentially farmland will do.
Question, little thing. Do you want to tell her? I got this thing on my back now. As you can see, you can probably guess what happened to me to start with. Can you tell me anything about it?
No, you have the king's and queen's curse upon you at this point. Should you fail, essentially, to enact basically king's and queen's vengeance, you will eventually succumb to this curse.
What?
And be no more.
What does this vengeance entail?
Oh, I think it had to do with basically
That was Zumlar's.
destroying the army of the British Empire root to tail was what the queen had said on her as her dying words.
The whole army.
I'm confused
It
because
almost happened. The priests of the one god were only able to stave off, barely able to stave off the curse. A huge portion of the British army perished that day.
So, we kind of got an impression somewhere in there that the king and queen didn't actually die, that they were captured in crystals and taken back to Great Britain.
Now, what is it? It's not that they were captured. It's that what is it? Their symbols of authority were taken back and back to the Tower of London and put among the crown jewels, is my understanding.
So they were actually killed.
Oh yes, certainly.
Okay.
I look at the fairy and say, "Hey, do you want to help me get those jewels? Those crystals?"
Even I basically, even we Fae do fear death. It's like that sounds like a suicide mission.
Well,
That's for the king and queen.
Yes, but they're no longer among the living.
And do it for Tirnanog.
Tir Nanog is no longer among the lands of the living either.
It can be.
Well, then I wish you luck, Paladin. Essentially, I wish you luck, Knight. These, I can lend you a little bit of my magic to make your passage easier, but like for the long term, I am not on board with your plan.
Fine. What kind of magic can you bestow?
Well, I can protect you from the direst effects of cold, and I can make you fly because I can dust your foot with fairy dust. So,
Ooh, Zumlar, if you fly, can I boop your nose?
Can you boot my nose?
She's gonna go over and cast light on your nose. Do you resist?
So I'm Rudolph now.
yes.
Yes. That's fabulous.
It's like,
I love it.
the fairy goes, that's very fetching. Once you knew a magic reindeer that had a glowing nose like that.
I look at
All right.
the fairy and say, Don't say it.
So, are you gonna let me out of this jar, or are we gonna continue to have this conversation from out of this cabinet?
I thought we already uncorked her.
Oh, you did. Okay, so you uncorked her. She's sort of flitting around the room at this point, leaving like trails of frost and little patches, basically, of cold spots all over the room at this point, as she seems to be redecorating the room to her taste at this point.
Dirk's gonna cast dancing lights and have him dance with her.
Okay. She sort of pirouettes and zooms among your dancing lights, sort of leaving trails of icicles and sort of standing bits of sparkling frost that glitters in the air. The whole room has like gotten like 10, 12 degrees colder as it's beginning to get chilly in this room. It's like she plops herself down on the altar basically and sits cross-legged. So I delivered my blessing upon you. Essentially the blessings of the Fairy of Frost. You'll be resistant to cold, and my fairy dust will basically carry you aloft for the next day or so. So you'll be able to fly until then. If there's nothing else, there's other places I'd rather be basically than stuck in this dank cellar.
Just be careful.
Oh, Zam. She winks at you. She sort of like fades out of existence as she. You're guessing she either teleported or became invisible. Invisible was the very more likely one, and you can hear the sort of like tinkling of ice crystals like flapping off, going off into the distance.
That was
Okay,
much
so
nicer.
there's one obvious exit out of this room. The other thing that you find, other than the fairy jar inside the altar, is a book of prayers, a prayer mat, a wreath, basically of holly that like of the type you'd normally wear on your head. It seems to be forever green and as if it's preserved by magic, and a sacrificial knife, a blooding bowl, for basically making blood sacrifices to the old gods.
Can Owl wear the holly wreath?
Okay. You plop it on your head. There's a slight twinge of pain as like some pointy leaf like stabs you in the head, just like ow, as you take a point of damage.
Okay.
It's like as a little dribble of blood like dribbles over your forehead into your eye. You're like, jeez.
That's very fetching, Owl.
Sorry, what?
That's very fetching.
As you take a handkerchief and are like blotting up the blood at this point. It's like,
Aw, thank you, Dirk. Just like wiping, like scrubbing the blood off her head. I thought so too.
yeah, it just sort of turns it into this reddish streak all across your face at this point.
Krishana, do you want the knife in the bowl? Do you have any use for that? I'm not really thinking we plan on doing any sacrifices, but...
Well, Owl technically worships one of the gods of Tirnanog, so these are just religious implements. So if you need to bless a ceremony, or do an atonement, or marry somebody, or just do general religious ceremonies, this is the basic religious gear you need.
Awesome.
Ooh. I would be down to gather some of that.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Owl doing a wedding. Just brings me so much joy. But I don't know if she'd be super into sacrifice, but like the other stuff sounds pretty cool.
Do you need me to clean up your face, Owl?
I know. I was thinking it was quite the look. What do you think?
Yeah, do you
metal?
wipe the blood into a rune? Is that...
Krishana's just gonna blush and walk away.
Okay. Do I find any? Does detect magic show anything on this plain, unassuming door that seems unlikely to be in this mansion? I don't.
I'm saying this is obviously an actual rectory, so it's like there's an altar. There's probably going to be priest quarters and an office in here. It's like just like every other rectory you've ever been to. Let's put it that way.
Let's check it out.
Okay. All right. So the circlet is a magic item. Essentially, when you eventually do identify it, it is a what is it? Wreath of Wisdom. So it gives you +2 to your Wisdom stat.
Damn!
Nice.
Yay!
And once per day, it allows you to use the augury spell to ask a question, essentially about something in the future.
Does it require attunement?
Yes, as it does require it. Okay, so the other door you're looking it over, it does not seem to be trapped and or locked, so you just open the door. There's beyond is a simple and utilitarian room, except where the bed should be. There's a coffin.
Ah.
Fuck that up.
Destroy the coffin.
You pop
I
open the
smell
coffin. You're popping open the coffin.
heresy.
There's nobody in there, so you already killed its
Get up,
original
fuck it
occupant. That way.
So, but isn't there supposed to be some earth or something underneath it so that they can rest there? I think we still need to destroy
So
this.
the coffin itself is full of grave dirt. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think we need to destroy this so that none of the Davenports can use it as a way station.
Last time there was something in the coffin.
well, you break up you like bless the dirt. So I need someone to sacrifice a vial of holy water for the blessing.
Dirk will do that.
As Owl's basically now that she has some like clerical ceremonial items, basically like takes the crumbles the like crusty mistletoe over it and like pours holy water and basically says the says the blessings of the ways upon the dirt. It sort of sparkles a little bit once it's done, and you sort of dig around the dirt a little bit, and underneath you find a what is it? A sort of gnarled pine staff that that does detect as magic. You let's see here, and
A
then
gnarly staff.
then-
Gnarly.
and what else? There's a wardrobe in here with some lavender, like purplish noble's garb that you're guessing was Kevin's in life. So you a set like 3 or 4 sets of noble's clothing for a medium-sized man, and the other thing you've noticed about the Davenport mansion, other than the portraits, there are just no mirrors anywhere. For probably obvious reasons.
Any portraits Krishana will be destroying.
Okay.
Yeah, those are scrying all over.
In here, there's a small icon, i.e., small painting of the what is it? Nuada, goddess of nature. So you're guessing that's probably the goddess that is goddess statue that basically exists in the other room, though it's destroyed. Let's see here. And what else? There's, and then let me look at my notes here. Okay, and then there doesn't seem to be any obvious other way out of here at this point. Though you're guessing it would be a good guess that there'd be a secret way back here since there's a coffin in here.
Also, is there like, can we inspect the floor and make sure there isn't a hidden teleportation circle?
You check the floor, there is no hidden teleportation circle, but you do check the ceiling as well. You notice there's a vent up there that perhaps somebody in gaseous form could easily like jet in and out of.
Can we
I
block that
point to
off?
The door. Is it a mimic?
Can we block up
the-
the vent?
Yeah, you can certainly block up the vent. There's some bedding here, some old clothing that you could go to stuff the vent with.
Right. That way, none of them can retreat back here. Because
Okay.
if we do catch some of the other Davenports, they might need to and destroy their stuff. They may need to come back here.
Okay.
Is there like any capes, like a fancy cape that Krishana
Yeah,
might?
there's a fancy. Looks like Kevin wasn't really a fan of like full capes, so there's like demi capes that reach to your waist in here. But those seem to be demi capes seem to be in fashion in London these days. Like full capes definitely are not. Let's put it that way.
Krishana's gonna dress herself up in a cape.
Okay, you take a suitably fashionable double-sided cape. One side is like a light blue, and the other side is a deep, deep purple.
Maybe wear the blue side out here since we're fighting the purple people right now.
Do they have one eye?
Are they flying?
Okay, so do you guys want to search this room for secret doors or anything along those lines?
I feel like while we're here, we should, right, guys?
Okay.
Just start like kicking the walls. It's like kicking, like
It's
open
like
up,
investigating. Yeah.
Krishana's just
Okay,
investigating the
given enough
closet.
time, essentially, you eventually find the secret door to this room. There's behind the wardrobe. You can slide it aside, and there's a you see scrape marks on the floor where the wardrobe has been sort of like slid aside, and you notice. Oh yeah, then the other thing that in the notes here, there's enough basically like low end jewelry in the wardrobe in like as far as men's rings and chokers and pocket squares and
The hell's a pocket square?
and cravats and ties. It's like all things basically that Mack has never worn in his entire life. Let's put that.
The hell's this fancy shit? But no, seriously, what the hell's a pocket square? I've never heard of it.
A
It's the little
handkerchief.
like triangle in the pocket.
Okay.
It's the handkerchief that basically you fold up and put in your pocket, essentially.
The fancy shit that never gets used.
All right, so there's enough of that, like random men's accessories in there, like nice shoes and so on, for probably about 100 gold, 100 pounds each, if you want to sell this out on the open market. And it's not all that bulky, so you can dump it into the bag of holding.
Okay.
Eventually, you move the wardrobe aside. There's a slight outline of a secret door in the wall. You eventually poke and prod at it until it basically pivots out of the way, revealing a secret passageway heading out into the darkness heading to the right and left, basically. So
I sniff. Does any way smell more tread or have more scent than another?
it just smells like nobody's been here in a long time, and you're guessing
Probably because we killed it.
primarily Kevin's basically private quarters. There's that makes some sense. So nobody's been down here in months. So,
He got ganked.
yes. The off to the right, however, you can smell slightly fresher air coming in. So there must be basically something like some ventilation basically leading up to the surface heading to the right, and to the left essentially air smells a little bit more stale, so you're guessing that is probably leads sort of deeper into
more sealed off.
less used or more sealed off location. So
Is there any like a high price fancy ink?
there's just the prayer book. The sort of prayer book you notice has a pencil. Like the altar also has a pencil in it, and the prayer book has like scribbled with notes here and there, like where different passages have been highlighted with a graphite pencil or charcoal pencil, and that's about it.
So Dirk can send dancing lights out in both directions to see if there's anything.
Okay, you just sort of set dancing lights out to the maximum extent. You can see that the passageway, if you go off to the right, which is towards the fresh air path, eventually sort of begins to slightly slope up, and you see just the bare hints of the beginning of a set of stairs. And then off to that's to the right, and then to the left, it terminates within a sort of door made of stone and with like heavy steel fittings, like almost like a vault door, terminating that end of that passage.
Does it have a really weird like handle on it, like the last vault door we opened?
No, I'm saying it's more like a door essentially, but it's like the door you would put on a vault rather than just like or a secure room rather than just like a normal door.
Or does it look like a jar?
It's not
I'm sorry,
open,
that was a
so
bad
it's
pun.
not a jar.
It is not a jar.
Well, I think the going to the right seems to go up towards the fresh air. That seems to go out, and I think at this point we're trying to go a little deeper and see the other Davenport. So maybe we should see if we can open up the door. What do you guys think?
It's real.
Yeah.
Okay, you head up to the door. There's you can see it doesn't take much essentially because you quickly realize there's a powerful magical sigil on the door that's been traced out in glittering gem dust that you're guessing if you touch or mess with this door in any way, that sigil will go off. Given that it's its size, you're guessing this is an actual symbol, not just a glyph. So this is probably like 8th or 9th tier of magic. So if this thing goes off, it's probably going to blast the whole corridor.
Oh.
And
Well, that
anybody in
doesn't
that
look
corridor
nice.
is probably going to be really badly wounded and or perish.
We should not go there. We should get away from that door.
Well, you have all sorts of dispel magic in a wand at this point, so you can certainly try to take it off. I'm just saying you're going to have to take precautions essentially and figure out what the actual. You might want to figure out what the actual glyph is, because if you fail to dispel it, you might just set it off.
So
Maybe it's a glyph of level up to 20th level.
So what would we roll to try and investigate the glyph? Would that be religion or arcana?
That would be in this case it's Arcana because it wasn't put there by a particularly religious person. So
Dirk will roll, but he's not exceptionally good at arcana. Does anybody have that as a better?
Should I aid you?
It also give you a bardic inspiration, so I'd suggest doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, can I sing and aid her?
In this case, basically, you can just give her the bardic inspiration. There's no assisting each other with this knowledge. So.
Oh well, that's a 2. So Dirk doesn't realize anything.
Oh, re-roll it because it's a 1. You get to re-roll all your 1s.
Oh, you're right. Oh my god.
To be fair, Tree is not feeling 100% today.
But I'm rolling true to form, so that's a 6 now.
Oh.
So
Still true to form.
So you go.
Yeah.
So Dirk is intently looking at the door and then sort of like silently mouths the. It's like, let's see here. Is that let's see here? Okay, I recognize the language. Okay, what's a language that Dirk speaks? Just out of curiosity.
Common, Elvish, Halfling, Infernal, Sylvan, and Thieves' Cant. Thieves' Cant and Undercommon.
Okay,
All of
so you're like, oh, this is basically the rune for. This is the rune for madness in Sylvan, as you just sort of like silently state the word in Sylvan, and it goes off. And it goes.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right, so Dirk is sort of like standing there in front of the door,
Of course
drooling
he
at
is.
this point.
Yep. Dirk is drooling.
Is there any way to and the door's blowing up?
The sigil seems to have been discharged at this point, so it's no longer sort of slightly glowing under the dim light from the let's see, it's no longer. Well, never mind. I guess the dancing lights go out as well. So Dirk at this point basically just sort of sitting in front of the door drooling.
So essentially, the lights are out and no one
The lights
is home.
are out.
Okay.
So just like normal.
Should I try lesser
I'm not
restoration?
going to say what I thought as soon as
I
you
might
said that,
use-
Ryan.
I'm sorry.
You can just imagine.
Since it's at will, can I use light?
Sure, absolutely. You pop the light into existence. A lot of the glittering gem dust on the door seems to be gone at this point, and you give it a test shake just to make sure and then quickly touch the door with your fingertip and like jump away. Nothing bad happens to you, so you're guessing. Okay, well, it's the traps discharged.
Dirk,
All
what
into
happened?
Dirk at this point, as you're looking at Dirk, as Dirk basically has a blank
Dirk!
stare, 1,000
He's like
yards.
waving a hand in front of him and
You can see this long dribble of drool basically heading from her mouth to the ground.
I'm gonna try
Thank you,
lesser restoration.
Lawrence.
Owl just like grabs like Dirk's arm and uses his hand to wipe the drool.
Oh, nice thought.
I don't think he's okay. I'm no longer the dumbest person in the party.
Does lesser restoration help him?
No, unfortunately. Krishana casts Lesser Restoration, notices nothing happens, then shrugs.
I tried.
Should we carry him for a little bit?
I'll put Dirk on my back in like a hacky, not a hacky sack, like a sack of potatoes, just slung over my shoulder, and like, all right, come on, buddy.
And Owl's just like behind like Mack, like trying to get like Dirk's attention. Just like waiting for the moment that Dirk finally comes back. Just like, how many fingers am I holding, bud? Wrong, it's 3.
That is pretty much the response you get back.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, this is perfect because I feel.
Be locked, however. So who's unlocking this door?
What I was gonna say is that I actually feel awful and was wanting to maybe try and go to bed a little early tonight. So if Dirk is a drooling mess, maybe this is just.
This is your perfect out.
Right? Yeah. You guys just carry my drooling sack of guy around, and we'll. And Faith, maybe you can come down and just hit the stop button on the recording when we get done.
Yes, I'm going to make a note.
Yes. Okay.
Don't
thanks,
worry,
guys.
I'll bring you back to the Paladins in maybe more than one piece.
Have fun. I'm glad that all 3 of us came back up.
Maybe more?
Okay, can anybody pick the lock? Otherwise, you're gonna have to basically do something about getting this really sturdy door open at this point.
Does my jack of all trades apply to thieves' tools?
If you bought some thieves' tools, yes.
I'm sure Dirk has some on him.
I'm looking through Dirk's backpack.
Okay, you grab Dirk's thieves' tools. You're going, okay, well, I saw this done once. Just like, okay. And all right, roll me sleight of hand.
It's basically sleight of hand plus half proficiency, if I remember correctly, when I did
He's
it.
thinking, don't be suspicious, and rolled a 22.
Okay, no problem. All right, it's a long time. Essentially, this is a really complex lock. Because you're going, there's hidden tumblers in this. It's like I've never done a lock this complex. But you eventually get it open. It's like 30-40 minutes later. Everybody keeps on checking on Dirk. Every so often is like Dirk is still going bleh. Like, well, if we run into more traps, this is going to be bad. I hope Dirk comes back. Basically, comes back to his senses soon. You get the door open. There's one of those super as the thing basically creaks open on like not particularly well oiled hinges, and you're looking out into what appears to be a like a large cistern of some sorts where water collects for drinking. There's a sort of like murky pool, or just maybe the angle of your lights that makes it look dark. That's maybe about 40 or 50 feet across with no edging. So it's just like the edges of the floor are slightly dished to where they basically all the water sort of pools up in the center of the room. You look above, there's a heavy steel grate above, maybe about 20 by 20 across, leading, and you can see sort of weird shadows cast by what you're guessing are fans or some sort of circulation system behind a light that is being shown. A light is being shown through that basically casts weird, ever-changing shadows across the grate. Trying to peer out across the room, you can just barely make out with your dark vision at the far end of the room. There are 3 exits to this room, all likewise shut with these really heavy stone doors.
Well, Okay.
I have Arcana. Should I try and look at the runes?
Are there runes on them?
Well, you're looking at the ground now, and you're looking at the ceiling. There are runes on the ceiling. There are runes on the floor. They're all like really, really faded, as if they had been engraved into the ground and floor like really long time ago. And we're not talking about just like months ago. We're talking about like hundreds of years ago, as if this is some sort of ancient site.
What does it smell like in here?
Well, I'm saying there is fresh air flowing around in here, so it smells just like wet, effectively. Like you've entered a freshwater, like you've entered an area that has this giant pool of fresh water in it.
So it doesn't smell like dirty or musty or anything. It just smells
Not dirty or musty or anything along those lines. It's just like I'm saying the site. If you look at the runes on the floor and the ceiling, indicate that these were carved not just like years ago, but hundreds of years ago, because they're all worn down around the edges, as if like people have tread on them, and the water and
would Zumlar know about
moisture in this room has sort of caused the stonework to degrade over time.
I'm not a magic person, but can I even tell if these runes are active or not?
Go ahead and roll with me Arcana at this point.
Okay.
Would Zumlar know what this room is or anything?
10.
This is not particularly his specialty, but yes, go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
17.
All right. You're of the opinion, basically, these doors are all meant to seal something in. This room is meant to seal something in.
Oh. Well, that's not great.
Concern.
Would this be like a place that you would want to go lay down and sleep?
No.
Probably not. Something ancient, basically, is held here, or it used to be held here. It's hard to tell which at this point. As you're sort of like peering around, as Dirk is sort of, well, never mind, Dirk can't help you with this, but as Krishana, can you detect magic or not?
I haven't had a chance to get any rituals yet, so no.
No. Okay.
I think I do have detect magic.
Okay. Well, it's not a paladin spell normally, so that's
No, I haven't. Yeah, I have detect magic.
okay. So, you basically cast detect. So use up a first level slot. You cast detect magic really quick. There's maybe about a quarter of the runes are still active at this point. A lot of them are just like dead, as if their magic has like worn out over time. There's something highly magical and fey in the pool at this point. You're not quite sure what the frick it is, but it is below the surface of the water, so you can't quite make it out. Give me a second, I need to stop by the restroom. We'll be right back.
I just had a thought. What if the thing that was in here was the thing that the cult of Hermes released into London?
That seems like a big...
Like, that's the reason they built their estate here, was because they found something and just sort of wanted to lay claim to it and didn't want anyone else to have access to it until they could, do something with it.
I don't like the sound of that.
Like I said, it's just an idea. I have no idea if that's even, like, accurate in any way.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I need, like, a quick reminder of, like, what we're looking at. Is there, like, a lake or, like, some sort of body of water between us and the doors?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, thought so.
We're almost sort of, like, in, like, a cistern.
Okay. Look what that is. I do not have
a cistern is, like, an underground water reservoir that's normally used for, like, holding water.
Oh, okay, I got you. A big brain. I know how big brain.
I'm essentially imagining, if you've ever played Skyrim, I'm imagining the Riften Underground.
I won't lie, I've never played Skyrim. I wasn't allowed to play video games.
I feel so bad for you.
I know. The only one I can play is like Pokemon. That's it. My parents were like, "No, you're gonna get distracted." I'm like, "I'm ADHD. It's gonna happen no matter what."
Yeah.
Just depends what outlet I get.
That's what I tell my parents. If I don't want to do work, I'm not going to do work. Doesn't matter what distractions are in front of me.
Truly, no. I've had to like build breaks and like mental breaks into like my like daily schedule. Anyway,
Lawrence is back.
Welcome back. Or Lawrence isn't back? Oh, what? He's still muted.
Oh no, he's still muted.
Yeah.
I thought I heard Lawrence noises.
Lawrence noises. Lawrence. It is just like in like asterisks. Lawrence noises. It's like the caption of like a Netflix show. It's so Anyway. Fuck. Okay.
So I just want to say, Krishana is really upset at her bird. She's tried to get a date twice and rolled a natural one. My bird has been around for 24 hours and it's got 2 dates.
The bird got fucking in the Krishana. Goddamn. That one.
I mean, you can. I have no use for the ruby.
Ruby?
We got gemstones from somewhere.
Oh.
In the ash thing, like the burner thing.
Yes, there's a ruby in the basically what is it? The flame spirit in the crematorium.
Oh. Oh, I thought that was a sapphire because it was pigeon egg shaped, but at first we said it was pigeon shaped.
No, it was a ruby. It wasn't a sapphire. Although
What?
they are very. As someone who has studied geology, I can confirm that they are actually basically identical gemstones.
No, yeah, but I thought we said sapphire. I always imagined it blue.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Same difference. It is not a magical item, but it is worth some money. So
yeah. Now I'm just gonna imagine a red pigeon gem shape.
okay, there you go. All right, so there's something ancient and fey hiding out beneath the waters of this cistern.
Should I try and touch the runes and see if I can read them?
You sort of like casually search among them essentially and read off some of them. It's like it's some sort of like epic poem like the Iliad or the Odyssey or something along those lines. It's
Oh damn.
so it's like it basically tells if read in so you're sort of, it's kind of awkward to put together because it's not written in like neat lines. But you can easily tell it is it's effectively the Aeneid that or the Edda that basically describes the what is it? The initial arrival of the Dawn people upon the lands of Tir na Nog. So whoever must be in this pond must be truly ancient indeed.
Oh, this sounds like my goddess, kind of, right?
Possibly. So, do you want to ask your goddess?
I don't have any religious spell like commune or anything, but sure.
No, I'm saying you're a warlock. I'm saying in a way you can always try to ask, basically have the mind conversation with your patron. So.
Yeah, she'll just start dancing and swaying and talking in her head. What's this?
All right. You basically pull out some magic mushrooms and chomp down on them. This is the normal way you reach your patron.
So on character.
Like Zumlar is looking over at Krishana. It's like, is it just dark and our pupils are blown out for that reason, or what? Because it's like they're just like pools of darkness where her irises should be.
it's a little more than darkness there, bud. In fact, it might be quite colorful.
Yeah,
so
I
then
think
you see little rainbow sparkles in the center of them. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask. All right, so it's like, all right. As you go on a little trip, a warm, suffusing light sort of shrouds your eyes until as you blink a couple times, and eventually find yourself standing in a beautiful emerald green sylvan glade with the smell of wildfire. I'm sorry, flowers, not
Flowers.
fires, and a scantily clad woman in an gossamer gown with golden locks that like flow down to her all the way to her waist as she motions you forward and takes you by the hand.
Krishana's just going to be
Twice in
giggling
as many
schoolgirl.
days. Twice in as many days, basically, Foundling. What confounds you now?
Well, you told me to do good, and we're trying to kill some vampires. I've read a poem about you.
Ah, I see it. I see it within your mind's eye. It's like my brothers and sisters arriving at the Dawnlands in the at the founding of Tir Nanog. So, was this not a story you already knew?
She's looking at like the spirals swirling around her. It's hard to remember all the stories. I try and study, but
Not many do remember the ancient tales at this point. But it pleases me that you show interest. What brings you by this fine day, Foundling?
yep, just wondering if this is like a door we should go through, or should we turn back?
I thought you were gonna ask about the thing in the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that what is behind the doors?
We're already past the doors.
Okay, yeah, then that's what I meant to do.
Okay, give me a second. I'd actually need to look up the particular goddess, essentially, that is. Okay. So lying within the place of power you seek now, is one of the heroes of Tir Nanog, Gwendolyn. To her gentle lakes and pools basically joined all of the realm at one point or another. She was the mistress of portals.
Should she be someone that I should try and help then in the pool?
Well, I'm sure she needs no help. No one truly could detain Gwendolyn. So it's whether or not she chooses to help you is the question you should be asking.
Oh, sweetie, you are so wise.
I try to help.
Would you like to dance?
She dances with you a moment, essentially, and then you sort of find yourself back. There's sort of like this weird metallic taste in your mouth from the mushrooms, and there's still like a sort of traces of color, at the edge of your vision, and there's this weird tinging sound in the back of your head. But it's like you are certainly back at this point. It's like So did you just all blurt it out all at once, essentially, what the Mistress of Dawn had said to you?
Well, first she would just be crushing on the mission, like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful in her smell and her hair, and then eventually get around to what she heard about the Gwendolyn.
The Mistress of Dawn, greatest. She has beautiful hair and skin. It's like she's the most wonderful dancer. As you just wax poetic, basically, about your patron, and eventually you get around to just like, oh yeah, and in that pond over there is Gwendolyn, the Mistress of Portals, one of the heroes from the founding of Tir Nog.
Whoa.
Well, Krishana is going to try and like go over to the pool and kind of like recite the poem poetically and get a cup.
Give me a performance check.
Performance 13.
13. You hear a voice that sounds like the sort of tinkling of icicles and the dripping of water. It's like, well, I've heard better performances, Scald, but passable. As this woman effectively made up of water, basically, so like sort of think of the abyss. This is like this woman sort of like wholly made up of water. She has a dress that sort of like looks like ripples of water, basically over her lithe form. Her hair is made of like little ropey tendrils of water. You can see straight through her, basically, given your light sources at the moment. She's like, well. You are not Benedict Davenport. So, what brings you here?
Zumlar will fall to one knee and bow his head.
Knight, no need for such formalities. It's like I've never had much standing in the court of Tir Nog. I've simply been a humble folk hero among the Dawn people.
She will relate.
And Nuada and Silverhand gave me this form as a reward, an eternal reward for my service.
So she will whisper, trying so the others don't hear, about how her the Dawn Mistress helped her out to, on a path of good, and then retell the story of the release of the evil god underneath the city of London, and that she's tracking down the Davenports in connection with that.
Well, I had advised the Davenports that though they were very bitter about the fall of Tir Nog, since they had been nobles within the kingdom, that it was ill-advised essentially to have business with the elder gods, but they would not listen. So they don't. I assume they don't. Well, never mind. It's like, to be truthful, I don't know what they wish anymore. They are no longer among the living. Essentially, they have chosen the path of undeath.
Indeed. That is why we are here.
Whatever they're wishing, it ain't good.
They made they've tracted with the Yellow King at this point, and I cannot. I've chosen not to fulfill any of their wishes or grants at this point. When they were mortal, essentially, they were. Kevin, at least, essentially, was a devout worshipper of the Seven. In undeath, essentially, I would deal with him once in a while if the Davenports needed to be transported somewhere far away.
When was the last time you had contact with them?
Oh, let's see here. I have had no real business with the Davenports in the probably better part of like 5-6 years at this point. This portal, this place of power still lies at the juncture of many ley lines, hence why they built this place, perhaps as a starting point for their reascended power of the Fae here in the British Isles, but that time has long since passed. Essentially, the the druids still do their business out by Stonehenge, and there are other cairns of power, but their time grows short here within the lands of men.
Whose time?
Iron and bronze and the magic of men essentially are in ascendance, and the lands of the Fae are not long for this world and are fading into the past. Eventually, it will be my time too to travel to the Misty Lands.
Huh? No fun.
Hmm.
Shield pal. Or go ahead.
Maybe we could do something about that while we're still here. I take it you
True
see
enough,
this,
but
and I'll...
what do you wish of me? If you need transport, I, Gwendolyn, the Mistress of Portals, can take you anywhere you wish to go for a price. If you do not wish transport and wish knowledge instead, I am knowledgeable in many things, but not as much as portals.
You were there at the founding of Tirnanog.
That's
You
true.
see my form. And I'll just sort of splay myself. I'll sort of like, look at me. Something's gnawing at me.
You are indeed a fetching wolfman, so I see no problem with your form.
Yeah, other than this little nasty mark I got, but I'm dealing with that. I used to be human.
The royal family's curse mark. You will become an instrument of their vengeance upon their enemies.
And I have no qualms
If you
with
run
that.
across one of them, essentially, I'm almost certain you will be compelled to kill them.
It's good to know. But, I'm not opposed to this form. I've actually kind of grown used to it. But, I compared to my friends, I've just sort of been lacking. Almost. But I've heard, I guess... rumor. We went to Tirnanog recently, and something felt like it was calling to me, almost. I don't know what it was, but we never got a chance to go look at it. Do you have an idea what that might be?
All of the hunt is basically what you're probably experiencing. The huntsman still roams the land of Tirnanog, seeking vengeance on those who have done the Golden Keep and the Golden Dawn people harm. His horn calls out to all wild beasts to basically join the wild hunt.
How do I find him?
I can take you to the huntsman's lodge. Should you choose to become one of his loyal dogs, you'll be granted basically powers having to do with hunting your enemies.
At this point, it almost seems like that's the road I'm meant to go down.
And eventually, if you continue to track with the hunt, make a pact with the huntsman, you may yourself eventually become the huntsman, the Lord of Anuvan.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But we still have business here.
These are all places I can take you, though they may sound legendary. They are as real, basically, as the stone you stand upon now.
I don't doubt you. This sounds, sounds like something I've been looking for. If I didn't know it. But, I almost forgot. Another question to ask you. Do you remember the doors to this chamber being sealed or protected with any sort of dangerous magic? Our friend here kind of got hit with something when he was trying to open it, and I will just lay Dirk.
The watery form of Gwendolyn looks at Dirk like, your friend's mind and basically has been almost blasted out of existence. He has been feeble-minded. Only the greatest of wizards or clerics can cure this ailment.
Oh no.
Well, that's not good. But at least we know what we're doing. I think.
So
You couldn't by chance fix this, could you?
I can take you to someone who can, but again, you must
At a
pay the same
price.
price.
Yes, yes. Everything has a price. I learned this. But, alright, so we have 2 things to add on our bucket list so far. Third thing, as you told us yourself, the Davenports are now, well, they've been up to some ruckus at least for the past 6 months, maybe more. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to hunt them down, stop them. At the very least, they're causing ruckus in London. The London people haven't done anything wrong. I don't wish ill by them. So I guess that's the thread we've been chasing this whole time. But I guess I'm kind of wrapped up in everything else. Oh, sorry, I've been rambling. Do you know where the Davenports
are
have been
your
going?
enemy at this point. I have no great love for them. They are. I am in fact neutral on their cause, but that way, as she points to one of the doors, leads to Benedict Davenport's private lab, and a wizard of great repute when he was alive, and still so while he's undead.
that seems dangerous.
Well, that's what we're here for, aren't we?
And
Yeah.
that one, that way, she points basically would have led essentially to Samantha's private sanctum, but I sense she is no longer among us in this plane of existence.
Oh, she gone.
I
And
made
you've
sure
had some
that.
success in basically stopping the Davenports. Very few have basically managed to slay any of the Davenports. Their forms are almost immortal, lest they be destroyed under certain unique circumstances, which I'm guessing you already know.
They sizzle
Sunlight
like
is
bacon.
one of them.
They go tss like bacon.
Any other advice? If you no potential love for them.
Well, if you have no, what I offer you, I offer free of cost. But it's like any further information you'll need from me, you'll need to make a bargain with me, the Fey bargain.
Out of curiosity, because I'm a little bit for the particulars, the Fey bargain I know of, is your bargain or your price, I assume, for transportation the same bargain, or is that just a different cost?
You'd be surprised where I can transport you for, depending on what you are willing to offer me. So
Understood.
there
I
have
just
been various. I cannot give samples of what people have offered me in the past, but nonetheless, let it be known to you that I have helped multiple heroes in the past find their questing beasts, their places of power. It's like you simply need but ask me and make the bargain, and I will transport you there.
So it seems like we have to go to one place to get Dirk fixed, and then bounce over to get you into that pack, and then we'll be much more prepared to fight this wizard Davenport.
Yes. Okay.
That sounds like our course of action.
You already know where you can find high priests. You can just go to the one Church of the One God at St. Mary's. Essentially, there are high priests among the Christians. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
But at the same time, essentially, none of you are particularly Christian. Let's put it that way. Which is the problem you're facing at the moment. They simply are going to charge you an arm and a leg because none of you are Christians. So they're just going to say, it's like, and since none of you are willing to convert to the one God, essentially their price is even higher. Let's put it that way.
Damn.
Krishana plays lip service to the one god.
Yeah, but in practical terms, they know when you're actually being faithful because religion actually exists as a thing in this magical world, right? It's like, oh, you're not faithful. My God basically does not recognize you. Is kind of like an obvious thing.
be so harsh. That would be pretty nice.
You know that kid
the
at Christian
problem,
school?
there are some remaining priests of the seven gods of Tir Nanog. They're no longer hold a great pace of power, right? Because their time on this place is beginning to be forgotten, and the people that worship them are basically likewise. There's no one to worship those gods anymore. So just like it's like retaining a dying religion. Let's put it that way. So that's effectively what's going on with the gods of old. So.
But
So
if you
yeah, I
leave,
think
you don't
whoever
know
this
if
person
they'll
is,
find them again.
whoever this person is, we need to likely take Gwendolyn up on our offer to get little Dirk fixed. And then yeah,
And then we go to the pack.
I knew there was something out there. It was
So what do
calling
you
to
wish
me.
to trade with me, so that I may transport you to a place of healing for your friend?
What about the key and book?
Mack
What?
Mack is
Oh,
basically
probably a bad idea.
threadbare. Mack is not a material person. He does not have much in the way of
I'm
wealth.
saying you have all these tomes from the library at this point, and you.
Oh, that's true. We got stories, but I'm also not the one that was keeping the inventory. So
So the ones that seem most reasonable to trade over to Gwendolyn are either the key to the Legend of Tir Nanog, which is effectively has some direct tie to Tir Nanog. You're not exactly sure what, but it certainly can transport you there. And then the other one is the Dragon Scale Tome.
There's either we could do like if we want to hold on to we could do this dragon one. I'm also wondering, can we like split the key and book, like the key for the first ride and the book for the second ride?
I would ask Dirk, but I just looks over at Dirk and he's like, I'm just sort of like,
here. It's like I will not charge you again for the travel back, essentially. So do not consider this a one-way journey. Our bargain is for there and back if that is what you wish, or simply there if that is all you wish.
I got some candy I can give you.
Unfortunately, my powers are not that easily bought.
But there's also just the trip to Tirganog for the pack thing. So is that still 2 trips, or is that just one big round trip?
I will take you to your destination and back. Note, it is what I will tell you this. My portals don't always basically are not always close exactly at the location basically you desire to be. There might be some travel involved. But should you travel back to one of my pools, I will bring you back to where you came, safe and sound.
Okay. What do you guys think? Also, do we want to save the decision for next session? I don't know.
yeah,
It's probably a next session decision. Let's put it that way. So.
yeah,
I'm a little zonked. I have to be up at 5 in the morning.
Okay, so ponder what you're going to trade away essentially to Gwendolyn for transport to a place of healing, and
then I have to go find the pack.
The Hall of the Huntsman of Anuvan.
Yeah, call the Huntsman of Anuvan.
If we leave here, the Davenports might not be here when we come back.
That's okay.
Oh,
I think I'll be able to find them.
true. All right. Well, that's the end for now, right?
That is the end for this evening, so we'll pick it up next time.